This is the St. Lawrence Hall. 150 years ago, it was the place to come to hear opera. A very fitting place for today's famous face to be immortalized by three distinguished artists. I'm Louise Pitre. Welcome to StarPortraits and the St. Lawrence Hall. This building has been a cultural hub in the city of Toronto for over a century. Our three painters, Veronica Kvassetskaia-Tsyglan, Wageh Yassa, and Opal Dunbar-Adams, are no doubt wondering who they've been brought here to paint. Our three painters have only a few hours today to start their portrait of our surprise guest, and only 2 weeks to complete them. Then our guest returns and chooses one of the three to have for their own. Now, first of all, any idea why our famous face might have chosen this setting?
I believe because our celebrity will be opera diva, because we have a grand piano here and the acoustic in here, like we're ready to sing opera.
Okay, well, I remind you that here, back in the mid-1800s, the greatest soprano of the 19th century performed to standing room only. The woman you are to paint today, many are calling the greatest soprano of the 21st century. She has been seen on stages worldwide, where words like stellar, lush, and radiant fill every reviewer's text. Please welcome Measha Brueggergosman. Oh my, what a reaction! Hello! Oh, we're so thrilled. Please meet these wonderful artists.
Absolutely.
Wageh.
That is so great.
Oh my goodness. And Veronica. Yes.
Absolutely beautiful.
Well, this is gonna be exciting. It's my first. I gotta tell you, it's my first portrait sitting. So
You've never had a portrait done?
never had a portrait, so I'm hoping you will guide me gently through. I know that what motivates them is the essence of a person, but I think what sets them apart from other artists is the uniqueness of their voice. And what I'm hoping is to find a piece that tells me more about the artist than it does about myself.
Since you're opera diva, can you lean a little bit on the left? Yes.
Whatever you think, too.
Because you're relaxed.
Veronica Kvassetskaia-Tsyglan is devoted to classical realism. She is the driving force behind the Portrait Society of Canada. Her work has been featured in exhibitions virtually worldwide.
Can you sing for us?
Oh, that's a horrible question. No.
Why
It's
not?
my day off.
But we're painting.
I use my day off.
Okay, we're not gonna torture you.
And I swear, if I see music notes or music staffs or a bass clef or a treble clef in any of these portraits, I'll be very disappointed.
When you're moving, so it's hard for me to decide either it will be frontal or three-quarter portrait. Stay there. Stay there.
What is your process, Wageh?
Usually I do sketching first and then watercolor on top of that.
Do you always sketch under watercolor?
Not always, actually. Sometimes I sketch just light lines, and sometimes I go with a color. Watercolor is a very fast medium to use because it's not like oil. You come back to it many times.
Wageh Yassa is passionate about portraits, and he has been successful at it for over 20 years. Wageh works in a variety of mediums, including pen and ink, watercolor, acrylic, and oils. He strives to portray personalities, not just faces.
I once went on a cruise, and there was a karaoke contest.
Oh, no.
So, of course, I had to enter the contest as Trixie Brown legal secretary. I totally won. Oh, I've never done this before.
Yeah, right.
I'm so nervous. What you want?
Now I have a feeling like I'm drawing my 4-month-old baby. And it's always moving. Dun, dun, dun.
But if you
And I
need me
can't
to
say,
be still
okay,
or more
so
still,
Measha,
you have to
don't
tell
move.
me.
Freeze.
Honestly, if you need somebody who's going to be perfectly still in order to get your work done, I'm probably not the model for you.
I know that you, as a rule, concentrate on women.
Yeah.
Where does that come from?
I think it stems from my own childhood. My mom still is a huge influence on me. And also, being a minority, you see other people struggling and you feel it as well. Like, it doesn't have to be beautiful, and I even have the comments that your portraits are scary sometimes.
Yes,
but
I saw
that's
some
okay.
black paint, I'm gonna tell you.
It's dark, but
I am not that dark, so I know it has to do some of that. She caught my macabre sense of humor, perhaps.
Opal Dunbar-Adams is fascinated by the human face and anatomy and is often drawn to people with unusual features and unconventional beauty. Opal draws inspiration from her background and hopes her work will portray the struggles that women overcome every day.
Why painting? Why not photography?
Photographer, it's a visual artist who is lazy to draw. I would say. It's true, he's very lazy to draw, but he'd like to have
totally
a
quoting you on
result-
that so that people don't think it was me who said
very fast
that.
and quickly. And in the portraiture, the important thing is we have to reflect the spirit.
Yeah.
So we're saying that the Measha Brueggergosman is the greatest soprano ever.
I want you to tell us a little bit about the Portrait Society of Canada, which you obviously are very involved in and
Yes, I
even a
am.
founding member of, I believe.
Yes. The Portrait Society, it's actually the public professional society for the artists who dedicated to the portraiture art.
Yes.
And we have 200 artists now across Canada.
What's your greatest Canadian moment?
I was given an honorary doctorate of music at the University of Western, which is my alma mater.
Oh, see, I want
And
that.
I addressed the convocation,
Yes.
and I had a real hard time not crying. But I
Yes.
found that incredibly touching in that bittersweet sort of way, because you see all those fresh faces who have just graduated, and they're all looking at you for some kind of wisdom. And you forget that you've picked up a whole lot of knowledge
Yes.
while you're doing what you're doing. So
Exactly.
share.
Yeah, and I will not reference you. I will claim that knowledge as my own. That brilliant idea. Yeah, snap, cracker, jack, box of wisdom over here. Yeah.
Okay, I could stay and talk to you forever, but I think it's time to give these wonderful artists their warning.
Yeah.
A couple more minutes you have, and then we will give you some time to take some photos, and then you will be done.
Please,
She's not moving.
can you not talk and not move?
Okay.
Okay, be a real
I
model.
heard you.
Can we have the smile without teeth? Inside.
This is the end of the actual painting sitting.
Check.
We will see you in 2
a big
weeks.
deal. Oh, my goodness.
I will see you in a week in your studios. And then we will see you again in 2 weeks. So have a good week and have a good 2 weeks.
Thank you.
God knows
Thank
where you
you,
will have
everyone.
been during that time. Thank you.
Opal,
It's been
Veronica.
fantastic.
Thanks very much.
Welcome back to Star Portraits. It has been a week since our artists met Measha Brueggergosman at the sitting. It's time to take a peek to see how they're doing. Let's start with Veronica. Oh my!
This is just underpainting. I've been working on this just for 2 days. I'm planning to work every day to apply more and more layers.
This is not at all what you were
No, no,
working
no.
on the other day.
During the shooting, it was absolutely impossible because she needs to talk and I need to paint. Now I'm going to work every day to build more layers. It's called wet on wet. And in this case, you can work every day applying a fresh paint every day. Old master technique means you have to do a wet on dry. So you have to wait at least 2 weeks between the layers of applications.
In 2 weeks, can you achieve that kind of quality?
I will try my best. So, and what I say, there will be a good, beautiful surprise with this painting.
Oh.
It should be very sensual sign of the feminine side of her. Sometimes I'm talking to my muse. This is a special condition when you paint. Inside your head, you have the conversation with the model. The major criteria for the portraiture, it's a vitality. It's the amount of love, it's amount of life in there, And even if you'll take a look on the old masters now, so the Dürer's drawing or Rembrandt's, Da Vinci, when you even come close to the painting in the museum, you start to feel the waves, the vibration of the energy. This is the energy we have to get it and put it in there.
That's fantastic.
Oh, thank you very
I
much.
cannot wait to see this in another week.
You will.
It's going to be incredible. I know I will.
You
I'm
will,
very
yes.
excited. I'm looking forward to it. Thank
Perfect,
you.
thank you.
This is so above and beyond anything that I could conceive of ever being able to experience. I sometimes find myself just kind of, ooh, there's people out there creating my likeness through their own eyes, and it's a huge privilege. And I'm not really nervous so much as I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but if I don't like it, I don't like it.
Wageh is next on our list. He only sketched on our sitting day. Hopefully today we'll be treated to a peek at his watercolor work.
First, I was nervous, but she was so nice and so lovely, so it makes the sketching kind of easy and enjoyable. When I came back here and started a portrait, I have that kind of feeling still. I prefer the watercolor to flow freely on the paper. And then I add a little bit of a classic way, just to emphasize her features. With watercolor, by the way, you cannot correct. There is no mistakes allowed. So with watercolor, just either you get it first time or you just throw the paper away and start again. You know, for a long time I'm a portrait artist, so I care about the technique, to get the color to be flow on the paper in a nice way. The fantastic things in watercolor that it give you more than you expect. The water and the colors and the paper sometimes give you more than you think. That's why I let it run by itself and see what's gonna happen. That's the best way for me.
My decision will be based on what I want to see in my home. I'll probably want to pick the one that puts me in the best light and might go with my home decor.
Opal's work is next. She's a new mom and currently works from home north of the city. Opal works primarily with charcoal and oils. I can't wait to see what she's doing. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Hello.
It's changed a little bit, hasn't
Oh
it?
my! I love this expression.
I couldn't see her serious. She kept smiling, so the serious pose didn't work for me.
So you came home from the sitting with the other
Yes.
work that you've been working on. That's it. You didn't work on that again?
No.
Okay, I've been so enamored of your work that I haven't been yet introduced to your team here.
This is Sienna.
Sienna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is Holden.
Holden.
Yeah.
Like any mom with a newborn, they often carry them. Does it inspire you in some incredible way, or?
I wish it did. I wish I could say it did, but no, it hasn't. Not really. He's kind of in the way, but I can't put him down. And I'm not doing anything that any other mother hasn't done. It's just.
Of course.
You have to do what you have to do. The only thing that I have done is I've tailored what I used to do, like the materials. So I used to use really toxic.
Okay, I thought of that when I saw you pouring something into your brushes. Yes, of course.
So now I use the natural turpentine.
Non-toxic.
Non-toxic. You can put it down the drain.
Is that right? Okay, that's good to know.
I just thought that me just doing a standard portrait of her, I just couldn't see that in her house.
And you're okay? One more week, you'll be done?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. No problem.
I had to stop.
You're kidding.
I had to stop and not work on it because I knew that I would finish it.
Oh, well, heck.
I'm sorry.
3 artists, 1 more week to go. I think Measha will be hard-pressed to choose one of these vastly different works.
I did a lot of Measha's painting. I tried first time, I didn't like it. Second time, I didn't like it. Third time, I didn't like it. I don't remember how many times I did it until I get the one that I can say I like. That's okay.
I started all over in the last couple of days, basically because my husband came downstairs and kind of said, this might not be what you want. So I looked at everything again and started fresh, and I'm happy with what I ended up with.
It was very stressful, honestly. Extremely pleasant, but stressful. For sure, 2 weeks is not enough. It's like a half-finished product.
For the last 2 weeks, the artists have been working away on their portraits, while Measha Brueggergosman has been performing in Europe for the Queen of Denmark and through the US, including Carnegie Hall in New York City. The artists are setting up. I'm going to have a peek. Hello. Hi. How are you?
Very well.
Yes. How's the last week been?
No, very pleasant.
Oh, is that right?
Sure,
Everyone is so
yes.
relaxed. You were done in plenty of time. Well, you know, Misha's coming any minute, so I'm very excited to see her again. So I think we should cover them up before she arrives to make sure she doesn't get a glimpse. And then I'll be bringing her in to do the big reveal. Hello, Misha.
How are you? Good to see you.
Good to see you.
I'm so excited.
Oh, goody.
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah, I am. I'm a little terrified. I hope that nobody's painted me with like a black eye or one boob missing.
I think you'll be happy. I can't wait to show you. But now this is the day you get to see the paintings and choose one
Yes.
to keep. And you know that at least one might end up in the Portrait Gallery of Canada.
I know.
And minimally, one will go to auction to benefit a charity of your choice. So what charity would you like to benefit?
Charity. It's a wonderful charity called Learning Through the Arts. It is out of the Royal Conservatory of Music, and it gives children a different way of learning core curriculum subjects. So many cultural,
great is
so many
that?
academic things, and that's the work that Learning Through the Arts
Fantastic.
does. Yeah, so I'm glad that.
Fantastic. Are you ready?
I'm so excited and a
Ready
little
to
nervous.
see?
Yeah.
Come on, let's go. Let's go. This is how it's going to work.
Okay.
I will show you each painting, and then I will give you some time by yourself. When you have made your decision, I will come back with the artists, and then you'll have a chance to...
Browbeat them.
Yeah.
Yes. Do it, Louise. Go.
Number one.
I kind of feel like I'm scowling a bit.
Oh, isn't that funny?
I think the eyes are beautiful.
Number two.
Oh, stop. I love the sheen on the finish. It's really nice. And thirdly, I guess this would make a Veronica. Oh, wow. I did not show her that. My breast is showing. Oh, my parents, my poor parents.
You're funny.
Trying not to look at my own nipple. Let me tell you that. Like, oh, I can't wait to ask them.
Yes.
The strength of Wageh's technique to get such precision in such an imprecise medium like watercolor. It's incredible. She's gorgeous. I don't know who it is, but she's gorgeous. I find it interesting that Opal has made my face kind of jump out of the room. It looks like a mixture of Opal and me. That Veronica's playing for keeps with the boob, though. I can't even believe that she put my boob in that picture. My opinion of the artists as personalities, I thought would affect my reaction to their work a lot more than it actually does.
All right, Misha.
Bring
Come on, guys. Here they are, your artists.
Hi.
Opal.
Good to see you again. Hi. Hey. Yes, I think we've gone through enough together that we can kiss on it.
Now, clearly, Misha, you seem very sure of yourself as to who has painted what.
Yeah.
So it might seem redundant to ask the artists, but I shall ask the artists anyhow at this time to go and
I'll
stand
position you.
by your works.
Opal,
Right.
you go in the center. Wageh, you go to the left. Veronica, you go to the right. Yeah, I wanted to ask you, Wageh, why you chose the expression on my face that you chose, the background.
I chose a cool color to show how warm your cheek are. And I love the shadow and the light in that pose.
Opal,
Yes.
Can you tell me why you chose to work in black and white?
I thought that doing monochromatic black and white would be a good way to portray your life as an artist. Dramatic, but also youthful and a little bit cool. So that's why I chose it.
A little bit cool. Now, Veronica, I'm not ignoring you, but I would like to sincerely know what you believe gives you the right to show a portion of my body that is so personal without having gotten my permission first.
It's a matter of inspiration. If you're going to see the portrait, you have to see that everything has a meaning in the portrait. The way I designed the scarf going there, here it's a music, it's a sound. Here it's a feminine part. It should look innocent and pure. It shouldn't be any sense of sexuality in that.
Thank you.
What have you decided?
I think I'm gonna go with Veronica's. I think it's important that I learn to conceive of myself in other ways. I try and do that with my voice, to take things further, to take things beyond my comfort level. The portrait that I would feel most comfortable having in my home would be Opal's. The portrait that I would love to share with the world is Wageh's. And Veronica, thank you for seeing me in a way that makes me feel more beautiful.
You are beautiful.
Oh, God, you! When I saw the three portraits, I really was drawn to Opal's in the beginning. I was glad that I got a chance to spend time with the portraits because they all three started to take on their own roles naturally.
Oh, very few of our famous faces have been quite as articulate and totally unguarded. But what else would you expect from Measha, the opera diva, who is constantly giving her all? See you next time on StarPortraits.
How do you guys feel about the boob?
I don't know you well enough to do that. It's not something.
You would have made that choice. Wageh, go. Have at it.
I usually do head and shoulder. I don't go with that.
You don't even go there.
I don't go south.